you want me to lead off? Or do you want to lead off?
I don't care. I usually like to lead the dance, but...
You do. You're a great dancer too, so you should probably just intro it.
Horrible at dancing.
No, man, I've seen you. You got moves.
What's up, guys? I'm Jarrad from Florida Freedivers. I'm here with Eric today to go over the top 2020 Polespears of the year.
Top 5 to be specific.
Top five.
We've got a few options laid out in front of us. They do span a little bit of a price range, so we got a couple to try and fit in everybody's budget. But these are not necessarily all brand new Polespears. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But a lot of them have some cool features that maybe we've never seen before. So we're gonna start in the front here. All the way in the front, we have the Salvamar 2-piece 3-prong. And this is a very basic Polespear. However, like I've said before, if you've seen some of our other Polespear videos, it's actually one of my favorite Polespears that we carry in the shop. And it's super cheap, it's great, it's under $100, comes with a 3-prong tip on it. They make a great flopper tip for it. And it is aluminum, it's 2-piece. It's not the most durable thing in the world. However, for anybody that's just starting out in spearfishing, there's always a debate of like whether you should start with a spear gun or a pole spear. And we generally always land on starting out with a pole spear. And I personally believe that everybody should start a pole spear with a 3-prong tip. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it helps with just learning how to hunt in general and getting closer to the fish and learning technique and all in all, yeah. I mean, this thing looks pretty sick. I'm not that good on pole spears, and I'm pretty much more of a spear gun guy, but you're teaching me more about pole spears right now, and I mean, I want to learn more about it.
Well, good. We're all here for the learning experience, you know? But to just kind of touch on a couple features of this pole and why I consider it one of the top pole spears of 2020. Number one, the price point. To land on a pole spear under $100 that comes with a tip is pretty hard to find. There's definitely others out there. You can get into some pretty basic fiberglass setups and things like that, but for what you get in this as a breakdown pole spear, it's easy to travel with if you really want to. You have the versatility to run different tips. It's not a built-in 3-prong, which is what you're going to find on a lot of cheaper pole spears. It's a really versatile, awesome entry-level setup. And also for those who aren't necessarily entry-level, it makes a fantastic Bahamas lobster 3-prong. So if you're over in the Bahamas shooting lobsters, which you can't do here in the United States. However, over there, for this 3-prong setup, works perfectly. So that's a sick little pole spear.
I think it looks killer.
Yeah. Next up on the table, moving up in the quality and price point kind of category here, we have the Evolve travel pole spear. So I call it the travel pole spear because it is a 3-piece. They make a few different lengths. The one we have here is, I believe, a 7-foot or a 6-foot. And then they also have a longer 8-foot version. Actually, I take that back. This is the 8-foot, and then they have a longer 9-foot version. So this is a really nice, compact, travelable pole spear. Like I said, it is a 3-piece. It is all carbon fiber. They use 2 back sections of what we call roll-wrapped carbon. So this is actually where they just take a little form and they roll some sheet carbon fiber around it. Makes for that really cool, clean, twilled carbon fiber look on there. And in the front, you have basically what's a golf club shank. It is a solid pultruded carbon rod, which is extraordinarily strong for what it is. So you have a lot more flex up in the front. So this pole spear can take quite a bit of abuse for the size that it is. But really why I consider it one of the better pole spears in its category is it's incredibly stiff, right? So sometimes you get these real thin, fast pole spears and they're very, very whippy. Which there's some pros and cons to that. However, having a real stiff pole spear makes it easier to aim and easier to shoot those fish. When you load the pole spear, it's not going to bow out like a banana. I'm sure you've seen that.
Right? Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially like the big yellow fiberglass thing.
Oh yeah.
And it actually looks like a banana.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's kind of the cool thing about the Evolves. It's a very stiff, accurate shooting pole spear. And because it's so light, it's wicked fast.
It looks fast.
Yeah. Speed is important for shooting those tricky fish like mutton snappers. You know, everybody has a story about a mutton snapper that they just couldn't get quite close enough to, or somehow like matrix its way out of your pole spear shot. So the red is a super distinguishing feature. So keep an eye out for that if you come into the store. We got a whole section of the sweet looking anodized red Polespears over there. So I'm actually going to skip the next one. I'm going to save that for the last.
Okay.
Just because it's kind of a wombo combo. We have top 5 Polespears, but we might have brought 6 up just because that's how we roll. The next 2 that we have here, 2 different brands, but 2 brands that work very, very closely together. One of the poles we have in front of us here is brand new to the market. Really, really cool setup. I think a lot of people have been asking for this for a long time. I don't know, what do you think?
I think so. I mean, this is this thing looks awesome.
Yes. So this is the Headhunter Predator, which anybody who knows Bahamas spearfishing, who knows pole spearing, has heard the name Headhunter. It's a staple in the industry for pole spearing. So this is a tried and true pole spear that's been around for a long time. The Predator is a fantastic, high speed, just super lightweight, lightning fast pole spear. Rollers have become quite the rage. I myself, as any of you know who've seen my other videos on spear guns and pole spears, kind of a freak when it comes to rollers. The whole pulley system in the back kind of gets me going. But
this thing was crazy.
Yeah, right. This has been something that people have been asking for a long time. Roller pole spears started becoming pretty popular, a few years ago?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they started hitting the market with the big heavy pole spears with the big rollers on the back, and they're great for power, but they lack the speed. So to kind of bring in that category of a much lighter pole spear into the roller zone is pretty cool. So we're glad to see that Headhunter's doing that. And actually the next pole spear, which you didn't even know was available yet.
I couldn't believe this thing. This thing looks so
You hadn't heard of it.
Yeah.
Which is actually came out before this Headhunter pole, but this is the Sea Stinger. They call this one the Pelagic. They have a few other versions with cool little pet names like the Lightning, and it just determines the length of the pole. So the Pelagic is one of the longer ones that they make. And the Sea Stinger's been around. This is actually one of the first composite pole spears you could ever buy. I don't know how many years exactly they've been around, but they've been around since Henley's. The big gold Henley pole spears?
As long as I can remember, yeah. I know the name.
So everybody that goes to Bahamas has had a big gold Henley at one point. And Sea Stingers have been around kind of since that same era. So the pole spear itself hasn't changed one bit since they started making it. Maybe a couple tweaks here and there, but for the most part, they've stayed the same. And to me, it's a testament to if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the term, right?
Yeah, so strong.
Don't want to farm that one. But the pole spear itself is exactly the same. But what's cool and what we have here is they've developed a roller kit for the Sea Stinger. And this, like I said, this has been out on the market for a little bit. However, I feel like it's something that not a lot of people have really caught on to yet. But you can take an already phenomenal pole spear, definitely one of the top pole spears of its time, and still one of the top pole spears here in 2020, and make it that much better with a roller setup on it.
So you can convert this right now to a roller.
Yeah, so if you already have a Sea Stinger pole spear and maybe you're looking to get a new pole spear, maybe you're looking to just try out the roller stuff, you can upgrade what you already have and make it that much better. I mean, it really is taking one of the best pole spears out there and making it kind of a all-purpose machine. It's a really good balanced weight pole spear. It's front weighted, so when you're loaded on the pole spear, all the weight's in your hand. I don't know if you can feel that, but that front section actually has a big steel rod through it, so all of that weight's up there.
Definitely feel that.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool kind of mid-weight, but also very thin, so it maintains its speed pretty well. And yeah, you can just pop this guy on there, and boom, you got a solid setup.
That thing's awesome. It almost seems like the best comparison almost between a Predator and a Nomad.
It is. It's kind of like the middle stepchild,
That thing's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try one of those out.
It's a pretty interesting balance between the 3 poles if you line them all up together. The Nomad being a different pole spear, which surprisingly didn't make it on the top 2020 poles, but maybe on the next one.
I might have found my new favorite though.
So carrying on our 5th and I guess 6th pole spear all in one shot is we have the Black Reef pole spears here. So these are another kind of mid-weight category pole as I struggle to bring this up to the front. And I grabbed 2 of them because he does make several different models and they're pretty new to the scene. Quade's been making the Black Reef Polespears for a little bit now, but what I really like about these poles is he's uncompromising on the quality of his products. Right, so a lot of these are the same thing I was describing on the Evolve Polespear. They're a roll-wrapped carbon fiber tubing. So you get that really cool look, and he uses some very high-grade carbon fiber. So this is like what us, I guess, carbon nerds, but also in layman's term, we call it a spread toe or a wide twill carbon. Makes it have that really cool like checkerboard pattern. But these guys have a reverse texture on them, so they're smooth one way and grippy the other way, which is pretty unique. And then he does these custom grips, which are pretty interesting. Everything on it is carbon. Even the grips itself have like carbon dust in them, so they look shiny and awesome. Because who doesn't like carbon fiber, right? Carbon
super
everything.
tacky too. Looks
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And you can actually heat shrink right over this to make it a little bit grippier if you want to. So he does do a roller version, which is this guy here. He calls this one the Vandal. It's a fairly lightweight Polespear compared to some of the other rollers, but definitely not as light as like the Predator roller or converting a Sea Stinger to the roller setup. And then one thing that's really interesting that nobody else does is you have all titanium components on your connections, right? So you have a stainless steel injector rod, 5/16, but all the other pieces, so you get your piece up here that the injector threads into, and then the two pieces that join the two sections of your Polespear, all of that is titanium. So you don't ever have to worry about corrosion. You don't have to even oil them. You don't have to do anything. These things are going to last forever. So we've got a pretty cool group of Polespears up here. I mean, from all the way from the bottom at the Salvamar 2-piece there, if you really want to just keep the budget in line, you don't want your wife seeing what you're doing. We don't judge if you want to just get into the sport. But all the way up to some very, very high-end carbon products and everything in between. We have way more Polespears here in the store. It was a struggle to pick 5, so that's why we ended up at 6. So definitely come by and check out the rest of the ones that we've got. We're more than happy to run through everything that we have in the store with you. Let us know down in the comments which one of these you would personally run. And maybe you're already running them. Let me know, what kind of fish you've shot with them. Definitely always love hearing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what's your favorite of the 5?
I can't wait to try out the Sea Stinger with the conversion for the roller. I never even knew this thing existed for a conversion. This thing looks so sick.
I brought this thing out and it was like a little kid on Christmas.
Yeah,
his eyes lit up.
My eyes did light up. This thing was awesome. I definitely can't wait to try this out.
Yeah. So all in all, solid group of Polespears for 2020. We're looking forward to seeing more upgrades and changes that are coming to some of these Polespears that we have on the market, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah, stay tuned for what's upcoming, and thanks guys for tuning in.
See ya.